Hi, welcome to Command Shift's open evening. My name is Alice Chance. I am Head of Student Operations at Command Shift, and today I'm going to be telling you all about our bootcamp that is starting on the 31st of January. Just as people join us, just to tell you a bit about how we run these sessions. There will be about 30 minutes of me just talking about the course, answer any questions that you have specifically for me about the course, about how we sort of run things, about the curriculum, so anything you'd like to know about that. So please feel free to write any comments that you have. Use this as an opportunity really to get as much knowledge from me as possible. If there's any questions you have, feel free to ask them. So if you're watching us live on YouTube, just feel free to pop those into the comment box and I will keep an eye on those. And then from around 7 o'clock, I'll have two students joining me who will be discussing their experience with Command Shift, and we'll be talking about how they found it, how they found studying with us, and the advantages of joining us. So as I said, my name is Alice. I'm Head of Student Operations. So I'm the sort of go-to person over at Command Shift if you have anything to discuss, whether it's careers or student support. If you do have a sales call or call with anyone, it would probably be with myself. So yes, I am going to start. Like I said, please feel free to ask any questions along the way. So Command Shift, who are we? We were formerly Manchester Codes. As you may have noticed, we have had a rebrand. So that was at the end of December, but we were Manchester Codes. We're now Command Shift. We are the same people, slightly different name. We wanted to fit something that was more national. We aren't a classroom-based course like we did used to be, so we wanted something that would attract all students. So yes, we're Manchester Codes, but we are now Command Shift. We've been established since 2017, and we were one of the world's first part-time coding boot camps. We have 27 tutors working with us. So as some of you may know, if you've had a look into our if you've had a deep dive into the Manchester Codes or the Command Shift page, you'll know that lots of our tutors are former students. A lot of them are people who have done boot camps themselves, and they are full-time software developers, and they choose to teach with us in the evening. So these are people who are really dedicated, really want to help people become software developers. They've done this sort of thing themselves. They've been in your exact position. So they're great. They're super, super friendly and really nice people. We've had over 200 people graduate with us. So we have such a range of different students with us. So we have people who have worked in hospitality, we have people who are nurses, we've had people who've worked in teaching, all different sorts of backgrounds, all different careers. We have people who are on maternity leave, somebody who's looking for something a little bit different, I guess. Most people are career changers that sort of join us, but we've had over 200 people who have learned with us and are now working as software developers. Our current graduate employment rating is 89%. So that's 89% of our students find a role within the first 3 months of graduating. And we are 100% remote. So as I mentioned, we did used to be a classroom based school, but we now are 100% remote, which works really, really well. Allows you to have more free time, less traveling, and gives you the opportunity to learn with lots of different people. We have students who have learned with us across the UK. So we've had students in Edinburgh, we've had students down south, and we have careers partnerships with people and organisations across the UK as well to match us as students. So why choose us? I'm going to make this a bit bigger and me smaller. So why choose us? We have been doing this course for 5 years now. So we really know what we're talking about. This is something, we do one boot camp, and this is one thing that we do really, really well. So it's something we're constantly changing. We're adapting it to sort of workplace needs, and we're keeping things fresh all the time. We have one of the highest teaching ratios within the industry as well. So we have one tutor for every 7 students, which is really nice. It means you're not having to fight for attention. You're not constantly having to wait in line for your questions to be answered, and we have a really good support network for you. Industry expertise. So as I mentioned earlier, all of our tutors are software developers in their day jobs. They are industry experts. They're living and breathing software development every day, and that's another thing that keeps our curriculum so up to date and so in line with what employers are looking for. value for money. We're also one of the lower priced boot camps within the industry, but we don't believe that the lower price sort of cuts on the quality of our course either. We just really want to, I guess, help and give people opportunities to get into software development. And the course is really shaped by you. So if I've spoke to you before, or if you've had a call with me, then I always say the two key things that you can need to really sort of succeed within this course and do really well is lots of passion and lots of time to commit to it. And you can really make this course what you want. You can really sort of go in whatever direction you choose. If there's a certain career path you want to go down within software development, we're here to help and support you to do that. The course is project-led, so this means that there aren't any exams during the course. What we do is we help you build up a portfolio of work that you can then show to employers and discuss this work with them. So from your first day, you'll be working on different projects. You'll be building up a portfolio of around 10 projects with a group project at the end. The group projects are really exciting, and you get to work in a small team and sort of create your own website and application. The other projects are led by the module leads, and you'll sort of work on those until you can get to a level where you are able to make your own websites and applications. So a quick look at the course itself. It's 28 weeks in length with 26 teaching weeks. It's part-time, as I mentioned, so you have 2 lessons a week. If you were joining us in January, your lessons will be on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 6:30 until 9:30. So you have 2 set lessons every week. They won't change throughout the course. You won't suddenly have a lesson on a Monday or Wednesday. It's just Tuesday and Thursday, 6:30 till 9:30. So course is perfect if you don't have any time commitments on those evenings. And there's 12 hours of face-to-face support a week. So you have your 2 lessons, that's 6 hours. And then on a Saturday, there is an optional study support session, which is a 6-hour session, which I really encourage people to go to. It isn't a lesson. It isn't, you're not going to, I guess, you're not going to miss out on your actual lesson work, but it's a really good opportunity to code with other people who are on the course. And it's an opportunity to speak with people who may be further down the line, help other people, meet some new people and network with other software developers. So if you are able to attend the Saturday sessions, I fully recommend those. And yeah, as I mentioned, it's 2 classes a week, 6:30 until 9:30, with the Saturday drop-in from 10 till 4. On top of that, our students do 20 hours of self-study. So this is sort of accumulated through doing your projects and working through the Command Shift database, the Command Shift platform, which I will talk through with you a little later on. So the schedule itself, and looking at how your sort of 28 weeks of learning with us broken down, you have foundations and building blocks, which is your first 10 weeks of the course. So here you'll sort of get introduction to CSS, HTML, and will really sort of build, I guess, the foundations and building blocks that you will use for the rest of your career. Sort of says what it is. You then have a week off, which is a teaching break. Some people use this as maybe an opportunity to book a holiday. Other people really just use this as a time to study, go through anything that they may have missed further in the first few weeks, anything they want to catch up on, anything they want to refresh themselves on before you move on to Backend. So that's a 6-week module. You then have another teaching break, which is 1 week before you move on to Frontend, which is 6 weeks, with final projects as 3 weeks, and then careers and graduation as your final week of the course. So our curriculum, I will go through this with you in a little bit of detail in a moment. I will just give you an idea of what the sort of lessons are structured like, just so you can sort of understand what your day-to-day would be. So the first 15 minutes, sort of 15, 20 minutes of lesson, we'll be doing stand-up. So if you haven't heard of a stand-up before, it's an industry practice that you will sort of do throughout the rest of your career as a software developer. This is an opportunity to talk with the tutors. Everyone will go around and take a turn to speak about what they've been doing since the last lesson, any things they may have been stuck on, anything they need extra support on, and everyone will go through this and sort of talk through the problems. You'll then have your lecture. The lecture could be the full session, the full 3 hours, or it could be slightly shorter than that, and it could be 20 minutes. It sort of really depends whereabouts you're up to on the course and whereabouts you're up to with your learning at the moment. And then the final part of the lesson will be spent on in like a study support, we call it, where you go into a smaller classroom setting. So this is where this tutor ratio sort of comes in. So there'll be a maximum of 7 people within a breakout room with 1 tutor who's there to answer any questions. So anything you may not have understood during the lecture, anything you may need extra support on, and just an opportunity to talk with the tutors about any issues you may have had since the last lesson or anything you may have been stuck on. We do really encourage people to ask questions and really get involved, so you are able to ask questions during the lectures as well, although we understand that some people might want to do this in a smaller group. So the curriculum. So foundations. In the foundations module, you'll build a solid foundation to build upon for the rest of the course. So this is a 4 weeks, really hands-on part of the course where you're really encouraged to think creatively and experiment. So you'll be introduced on this part of the course to GitHub, CSS, and HTML. Really interactive. There'll be lots of quizzes, lots of things to get involved in, and just really, I guess, give you a good introduction to Command Shift, what we're all about, and an introduction to the course. You'll then move over to building blocks. So in the building blocks module, you'll build a fundamental understanding of programming. So this is where we'll sort of introduce you to best practices such as test-driven development and writing clean code. These are things, again, that you're going to be doing for the rest of your career, things that you really need to learn and build a really solid foundation on as you will be doing them hopefully for the rest of your career within software development. There's no back-end or front-end concepts within this building blocks section. We save those for later so you can really focus on what's important and sort of further develop your problem-solving skills. Again, this is really interactive, lots of like different quizzes. We'll be doing live demos, partnering up with different people, really getting you not only introduced to software development, but also how you'll be working as a software developer and the sort of practices you'll be doing. You'll then move on to backend. So you have your week off and then move on to backend. So the majority of websites and applications are powered by a backend. So this is sort of the things that you don't see when you look at a website. So it isn't visible to the eye, but it's an essential driving force behind the user experience. Within this, you will learn we taught Node.js, Docker, Express, PostSQL, Postman, and Render. So this 6 weeks module, you'll learn how to create and interact with your own database-driven backend applications. Before you'll then have another week off before you move over to front end. So on front end, this is sort of, I guess, the shiny part of the website that you see, like what the eye can see. And this is the part of the application that you interact with, basically. In this module, you'll learn how to create a fully interactive experience that connects to a backend and together serve as a full stack web application. So everything, I guess, will come full circle. You'll understand how the front end and the back end of websites work and how to create your own website and application. So we predominantly teach React in this module. React is a really sought after technology. Loads of employers are looking for it, especially digital companies and companies like Facebook and Instagram. That's sort of how all their websites and applications have been built. And yeah, it's one of the most in-demand technologies of the industry at the moment. Final projects. Oh, let me remove myself so you can see that. So final project. In the final 3 weeks of the course, you will work in a group of 2 to 4 people on a project of your own choosing. And when we say your own choosing, like we really do, we love it when people are creative like with this. We love it when people sort of put themselves out there and come up with a really good idea. We've had some amazing apps and websites that have been built through this. So recently we had one where 2 women created a chatbot that spoke to an AI chatbot that spoke to teenagers about mental health issues. Really, really inspiring and just so impressive as well to see. And one of those people actually went on then to get a job for an AI company and works on a chatbot. So it really, really sort of helped her when it came to finding her career as well. This is an opportunity to consolidate your learning so far, but also really pushes you further and to learn new technologies. So we do encourage you to sort of look around what other technologies can you incorporate into your final project, and it doesn't go unnoticed. It's also really great thing to talk to employers about. So the first 3 weeks of the final projects module are teaching weeks with class time dedicated towards helping you finish your work. So you will be working in a group, going back and forth, but then also have your lesson times where you'll have tutor support for there as well. And then we will also help you finish your presentations for this. And then this is followed by a career week where you'll have a careers workshop and your graduation will take place. So that's the final 4 weeks of the course. Employability. So this is obviously a really big thing. Career services. So We offer a full career service, which is really dedicated towards you and towards sort of what you're looking for within your career and what you're after. So we'll work with you to build a CV. We'll help you build a portfolio. So your portfolio will be your projects that you have worked on throughout the course. Will help you to sort of get those up to scratch to a level where you can take it to an employer and you can talk really confidently about your work. You can talk to them about what tools and technologies you've used, what problems you've faced and how you've overcome those. They're all skills that people would like to see and looks really good when you're interviewing. So we'll help you with interview and technical test help. So we have wealth of knowledge across the team, people who've interviewed lots of different companies. It's usually that if you're interviewing for a company, we know someone who's interviewed there and we can help you and support you with that. We offer social media help. So having a great social media platform sort of set up is really encouraging to employers. It sort of shows that you're really passionate, dedicated, you're up to date with technology, will help you build a profile and sort of, I guess, a personal brand that will get employers attracted to you. We do company introductions, so we partnered with organisations across the UK who regularly want to hire our students. We do sort of meet and greets with those through lunch and learn sessions. So we have a lot of those on. If you haven't had a look already, I'd check out the Command Shift YouTube. We've got loads of lunch and learns on there. Where we talk about negotiating salary, job sourcing through LinkedIn, and a lot of them with organisations that we're partnered with, and they'll talk to you about how to apply for a job at their work, what the position's like, how to interview for them, what the application process is like. We try to simplify things as much as possible, as we understand sort of career changing is a really big thing, and it can be quite daunting. And we do a dedicated and personal career guidance as well. So whatever you sort of want to get into within software development, we will be able to help, and we will find a way to sort of help you succeed. As well as lifetime access to our job seekers network. So we still get people who sort of regularly come and chat with us that have maybe been in a job for a couple of years and looking for something new, and we're sort of there to still help and support them as well, and lend an ear or check over a CV or whatever it is that they would need. These are some of the companies that we have students working for at the moment. So Google, IBM, Booking.com, BBC, Tesco. I'm sure you can see them all, but yeah, really impressive. These are some of the larger names, but we do also have people who are working for smaller, more independent, startup-based companies. We really sort of help you get into the role that you want to get into. Whatever you wish, really. Different payment options. So I will discuss those with you. We have a winter sale on at the moment. So if you haven't already seen, a course is usually priced at £6,000. If you were to make an upfront payment, this would be £5,000. So we do accept all major credit and debit cards, PayPal, Google Pay, Apple Pay, and we can also accept Bax transfer and request. For PayPal, I think you can even do PayPal Pay in 3. So we are able to sort of accommodate there as well. When payment, so this needs to be done before the 16th of January 2023, and it's only valid for our January 31st 2023 cohort date. If you are interested in the winter sale, you're really keen to sort of sign up for January, but you aren't able to book a call in with the team before the 16th of January, please just pop me a message and we'll see what we can sort of accommodate for you. We also have our 24-month free interest-free finance option still. So this is, again, it's a £6,000 price with just an upfront deposit of £600. For the deposit, you can do this in PayPal Pay in 3, Klarna, or you can just pay this in one lump sum, and you'll get 24 monthly instalments of £225 starting from the first of the month after your course commences. So if you were to start in January, you would then get your first payment for that taken out on the 1st of February. If you wanted to pay a larger deposit, so you get smaller repayment as well, that's also an option, which we would ask you to do on the application form that we would send over to you. So the course prerequisites and what we need from you before you sign up. To complete the introduction to programming, if you haven't done this already, I would definitely, or if you haven't had a look at it, I would go and check this out. It's on our website. commandshift.co. It's called Intro. It's a free course. It's 25 hours of learning, introduction to JavaScript. This basically will really give you an insight into what we're all about, what our teaching style's like, and it will give you a look at the larger platform that we work off as well. So you will only have a small snippet of the platform or the introduction, but our full bootcamp is on that website. So you will need to complete that before you start with us. Basic numeracy skills, fluency in English. All our teachers are English speaking, and a Mac OS X or Linux setup. How to apply? So apply online. There's a big, I believe it's green now, green button on the corner of the commandshift.co page. Click that, press apply. You'll then be sent a call, an email to book in for a call. It'll probably be with myself. It's not an interview. It's just a really friendly chat with me, talking to you about the course, talking to you about any questions that you might have, anything you want to know in a little bit more detail. I'll go through that with you, and just an introduction for you, and just to make sure the course is going to be a good fit for you. It's not an interview. It's very friendly. I won't put you under any pressure. So you'll just have to get one of those booked in with me, and then complete the onboarding. So the onboarding form will get sent over to you after we have had our call, and this is where you'll pay the deposit or the course fee at this stage. And then if you have submitted a finance, it will go through as a finance application, which we'll set up for you as well. And then you're on board, and then you'll be a CommandShift student. I don't know if anyone has any questions from what we've gone through so far. I do have 2 students that are going to be joining me in a moment. Someone has just come in, so I may get Mike in with me early. But if anyone has any questions about the curriculum or anything they'd like to ask me about the course or anything you'd like me to go over again, please feel free to add those into the comment section now. Otherwise, I might bring Mike in, if you don't mind, Mike. Yeah, okay, great. If you do have any questions, just feel free to pop them anyway, because I can still answer them for you. Right. Hello.
Hey.
Hi, thanks, Mike. Everyone, this is Mike for watching. I always do this the wrong way. You're on that side. Mike is a current student at CommandShift. He is here to talk to you a little bit about his experience on the course, how he's found things. We do have another student that's going to be joining us in a moment as well, but I will just start off with you, Mike, if that's okay.
Of course, yeah, of course. Fire away.
Yeah. Okay, I have just had a question, which I am just going to quickly answer, just so I don't miss this. Is it possible to do the onboarding as soon as possible and then do the 25-hour intro course before the start of the month? That's absolutely fine. We just ask you to complete the intro course before you start, so that's no problem at all if you want to get onboarded. So if you've already applied, we've already had a call, that's fine. Fill the onboarding form out. If not, just get a call booked in with me as soon as possible so we can get you signed up. But yeah, we just ask for you to complete it before the 31st of January. Hopefully that answers your question. But yes, hi, Mike. Thank you. So Mike is on our last cohort. So October it was that you joined us. And I'm going to ask you some questions. So what are you doing now, and why did you decide to join CommandShift?
So at the moment, I am a sales and service manager for a trade association, which means essentially it's business support. Okay. It's probably an easier way to put it. So I work in an office. It's just your standard office job, looking after businesses and all that entails, really.
Yeah.
I decided to do CommandShift because mainly, I would say, because it fit around my life well, in terms of why I chose CommandShift specifically. Mm-hmm. Why I was looking for the course specifically was more that, you know, I trained as a musician originally, so that's my background. And then I kind of fell into the job I'm in at the moment after uni. And yeah. I think it's sort of the traditional story is you get in a bit of a rut and you have to pay the bills and, you know. So I was looking for something that's fulfilling and, you know, has good prospects and just ticks all the boxes, something that I will really be as passionate about as music. Yeah. And yeah, my brother is a programmer, so I kind of heard little snippets through him, and yeah. And then I was looking around online, and a lot of the boot camps want you to make quite a significant commitment in terms of being able to study kind of 9 to 5 every day. Which, you know, I'm sure is good for some people, but it just didn't work for me. I think when I was looking online, Command Shift was just coming up time and time again for flexibility, but also you get kind of the comprehensive kind of boot camp as well. So yeah, that's kind of in a nutshell my process.
Cool, thank you. I am going to bring Cora in just so this is more because Cora's here now as well. Hi, Cora. Hello. I'm just asking Mike some questions and then I'll go over to you. I just thought I'd bring you in now, so it's just more flows a bit better. Cool. So how have you found the experience so far? Like, you've really, I guess you've been from the outside looking into your cohort. You've really been getting involved. Like, you're great on LinkedIn, Twitter. But I guess how have you actually found the overall experience? And please be honest about it.
Yeah, there's no gun to my head.
Oh no, like, please be honest. People need to be
realistic. Yeah, of course, it's been brilliant. It genuinely has. I mean, you know, the cohort, you know, some of them are like family now. We talk every day and stuff. You know, the tutors are all brilliant. Yeah, it's you know, obviously I'm only 2 months in or 3 months in, but I'm really, really happy with the decision that I made. You know, I will put a little footnote in that with that it is a roller coaster. You know, it is naturally, there are highs and lows. It's a difficult thing that you're trying to do, like changing career, especially for me, from my musician's brain, trying to learn something completely different. But, you know, it's really fun and it's engaging and challenging. And yeah, I've really enjoyed it so far.
I think that's the thing, is it is very full on. And I think when a lot of people who join us have been at like a self-taught pace and that's what they're used to, and then they come into this and it's very fast paced. You know, you're doing something different every single lesson and there's so much to take in, and it's how do you consolidate that learning when you're moving so quickly. And I think most people just, I guess, find their own way to sort of do that. But yeah, it is pretty full on. But I think you're right. If you've got a good group of people around you, like you've got a lovely cohort, and Cora had a really nice cohort as well. Like, you've got a good group around you. It makes it really easy. And I think really getting involved, to me, I think, is when I've seen students sort of succeed and do really well, it's the people who've got really, really involved, really dedicated themselves to it and are super passionate and like know this is definitely what they want to do, and having that end goal in mind, I think, is really important. Like, I want to be a software developer. Today's been rubbish and I feel like I'm never going to understand it, but I know I will, and I will become a software developer.
100%. Yeah, there's faith in the process is a big thing. And I think a thing that for me as well, I chose to do a boot camp rather than kind of, I mean, my brother is a programmer, you know, I could have used him as a resource and gone online, but you know, when you're self-studying, for me, I needed that kick, you know, you need like a structure and the motivation and people egging you on, because it is quite difficult. So, you know, like that for me has been huge with the bootcamp, is just the motivation and having the structure. And yeah, I think that's why it's working well for me. I know I need that kind of push.
Yeah. I think that's why a lot of people come to us is they need that accountability. They need that sort of lesson. You need to be doing this. It's very easy when you're teaching yourself just to stray and take a week off, and then everything's just gone out your head.
Exactly.
Cool. I'm going to go over to Cora now. Hi, Cora. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
No, it's fine. So Cora graduated with us last year. She's now one of our tutors, so a really great person to speak to as well if anyone has any tutoring questions. But I don't know if you don't mind by telling us like a little bit about your position before you joined Command Shift, and why you chose to join Command Shift.
Sure. So when I was looking into possibly doing a boot camp, I was still a project manager. Before that, I did marketing, then I did some project manager. That was my career for like 10 years. And then the pandemic was a curse and a blessing, because I lost my job, but also gained loads of time to learn. So I was self-taught for about a year. And then, as both of you said, before, after a while, even if you're like good at learning on your own, after a while, you often feel the need for a bit of structure and someone telling you what else is important and relevant for you to look into and learn, and someone to give you ideas for projects that you can test your skills on. And yeah, just I'm also a very social learner, so I enjoy learning with other people and talking about the subject. I enjoy when I can have access to a tutor, like a real life person, not just videos of someone who's filmed a tutorial. As good as they are, when you can actually have real life interaction with someone, it just makes such a difference. So that's how I decided that the next step for me, for my career, was to actually do some sort of school, a boot camp.
Cool. Thank you. And how did you find the experience? Again, please be very honest.
Well, it ticked all of the boxes. Everything that I needed in a boot camp, I got. So like I said, learning together with other people and learning from professionals and having access to everyone else. Specifically, why I chose Command Shift, there were a few considerations. The first one for me was I needed one that could be done fully remotely. At the time, I wasn't living in the UK. I was planning on moving to the UK, and I wanted to do a course that was taught here, but I wasn't living here. So that was the first consideration. And I reached out to you, actually, Alice, and you answered all of my questions at the time.
Did you reach out to me on LinkedIn? Have I made that up? No.
I don't remember either that or I found a contact email or something. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was ages ago, wasn't it? I don't know why you'd remember.
Yeah. And yeah, you assured me that you had a student from, I think it was either Spain or Italy.
Yeah, Italy. Yeah.
Yeah. And then my other consideration was, would this bootcamp help with my job searching afterwards? That was important for me because I don't really have connections in the tech industry. I wouldn't have had friends to ask if they were hiring or anything. So that was my second big question to you. And you gave me examples of how that would happen, and that sort of put my mind at ease. And then you came through.
Cora was a bit of a success story and found a role very quickly into the course.
Yeah, I think it was a good mix of luck and having good mentorship and support. You looked at my CV and gave me advice on how I could improve myself and how I could improve how I present myself. So, yeah. I think there was something else that I wanted to point out. Oh, yeah. When I was looking at boot camps, I noticed that Command Shift on their website, or maybe it was LinkedIn or somewhere, but I noticed that they valued diversity and that they were trying to do their part in making the tech world as inclusive as possible. And that was a big thing for me. Like, I want to work with people who put weight on that, for whom that matters.
Yeah, definitely. And that is a massive thing for us. I think that's what's so nice about our team as well. And like, obviously now for you as a tutor, I'm sure you appreciate, like, we have such a lovely, amazing, diverse team. Everyone from like sort of all different backgrounds and careers. And it's just, we've got a really nice team, and definitely diversity and inclusion as well are two things that we're really passionate about. And especially obviously getting women and underrepresented genders within technology roles is massive and something we're super passionate about. Cool. I had another question for you. It's just completely gone out my head. So the actual learning experience, I guess, as someone who's finished the course, how did you find that? I guess, how did you manage your time? Was there anything you did or any tips that you would have for future students?
At first, it was quite easy to manage my time because I was unemployed. Like I said, I had lost my job due to the pandemic. But about 2 or 3 months into the course, I think it was about 2 months into the course that I moved to the UK, and that was a massive endeavor for me, like for anyone moving countries. And I also started my very first job in dev. So I was doing a brand new job that was obviously quite demanding. and doing the course in the evenings, and it was a very different pace from the one I'd started with.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt a bit overwhelmed, but I think it was more emotionally overwhelmed. But the great thing was that I had a lot of support from the tutors, the mentors. I think people noticed that I was being a bit flustered and a bit demoralized, that I couldn't keep up. I felt that I couldn't keep up as well as I would have wanted to. Like, I didn't fall massively behind, but I could see a difference from when I was
Where you were
unemployed.
before. Yeah.
And a couple of tutors reached out to me asking if I was available for a one-on-one. They wanted to reassure me that I was still doing a good job and that this can be done, gave me some tips, and that really mattered.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Yeah. So in terms of tips, I would say try not to get too much into your own head. Everyone sometimes struggles with their support. So that takes me to my next tip. Take advantage of all the support that Command Shift puts at your disposal, because they really are good at reaching out. And if you reach out to them, they'll be responsive. And be as consistent and serious about it as possible. Like, as much as your time allows, try to make this your priority for the whole duration of the course. It will pay off at 100%. The end.
No, definitely. I think it's a 6-month commitment, and I think you shouldn't go into this thinking it's going to be easy. I'm going to career change. I'm going to be a software developer. Like, this is going to be your life for 6 months, and you're going to have ups and downs, but it's going to be so amazing and so rewarding if you've got the passion and you've got the time to put into it. Like, I think 100%. Like, if you've got those two things, then you're just
and be sure that when you feel that you're a bit stupid, everyone else in the cohort feels the same.
Yeah, exactly.
You end up doubting yourself. Yeah, you end up doubting yourself, but everyone else is doubting themselves. So don't hesitate to reach out and ask everyone else how they're doing. It sort of helps to see that you're all in the same boat. Yeah.
Agreed. Thank you. And Mike, I guess the same question to you. Have you got any tips for someone who's just sort of starting their journey? Have you got any tips as people 3 months ago? Is that something you wish someone had said to you?
I think what comes to mind straight away is just, like, I know it sounds a little cheesy, but just like believing in the process, because I think the tips that Cora gave were amazing. You know, I think I'm just building on that, but like, you know, there have been times where, like you say, you have that day, you're running up against a brick wall, you just feel like you can't do it. But then now looking back, you know, I in 3 months, I know so much, you know, so much more than I did. And I think that there's a lot to be said for just like, this process works. Like you said, if you put the time in, if you're passionate, this process does work. Cora's living proof.
Yeah,
I mean, it works, and she moved countries. You know what I mean? So it's you have to believe that, like, you know, you go to bed, wake up the next day, and just give it your best the next day. And it's just small steps. You know, it's just, I think that's the biggest advice that I can give, is just give it your all and just believe that the process works.
Definitely.
No. And if I may, I just wanted to add. Not every day you feel like you're a bit thick. It's just sometimes. It's just sometimes, and it's just a passing feeling. After a couple of sessions, suddenly things click into place, and you're like, oh, of course, it all makes sense.
Like a eureka moment.
Yeah, and you'll have those epiphanies regularly. You'll feel a bit like, oh, this is a lot, and then a few weeks later, you're like, oh, okay, it makes sense now that I've got more information and more context. So patience is crucial.
Yeah, I think that's it. It's like some weeks you're the best week of your life, and other weeks you're like, but it will click. It's just, patience, understand the end goal, be motivated, be curious as well, ask lots of questions. And I think you gave really good advice, Cora, as well, about leaning and asking for support. Like, all the support is there. You just need to ask for it. But we have had some questions. They may just be ones that I can answer, but I will do them. So, honest question here. I'm looking to get into the gaming industry. Would this course be a good starting point? The The other thing is, are there any face-to-face at all? Only asking as I don't learn well online. So we have had people who have gone into the gaming industry from doing our course. It is a full stack web development course. We definitely have had people going into there. So you sort of tech stack, you'll be learning as JavaScript as your core language. We have had people go into that. We get people who go into all different types of career, if I'm honest. A good thing to do would be to have a look at different job descriptions for gaming companies if there's something specific you want to get into, or it may be something that you sort of build upon within your career and that's something you go to in a couple of years' time. But yeah, I would have a look at some gaming job descriptions and sort of see what tech stack does it match up to this and go into that. But yeah, we have had people before. But there aren't any face-to-face lessons, so it is completely remote. I don't know if you two have any experience or like whether were you a bit cautious about it being all online, or were you quite happy with that anyway?
That was something I was actively looking for. So for me,
Yeah, I guess. What about you, Mike? Were you?
Yeah, I think potentially to start with, but then I think, for me, I was kind of very similar to Cora. It was working with the kind of resources I had and the schedule, being employed already, fitting around my schedule and things works best remotely. I think that's something I was actively looking for.
Yeah, and I think that's it, is when we did have like in-person lessons, people would then be commuting to and from. That has extra time, less time to then spend doing the course. But it isn't something we offer anymore, I'm afraid. It is all online. Thomas, if you would like to speak to, so I do know a student that was a bit anxious about starting because they had wanted to do face-to-face, but they're really enjoying the experience. So if you pop me an email, I can put you in touch with them and they'll probably be happy to answer some questions on that as well. So another question here, apologies if it's already been covered, but is it possible to do the classes at any time, or do we need to attend the scheduled times? Evening classes don't suit me. Unfortunately, we do require you to attend the lessons. It is sort of mandatory, so you do have your 6 hours of mandatory learning every week. This is because you won't have that face-to-face support, which is so important, that time to sort of go through questions, talk to your tutors about the work, and sort of be interactive with the rest of the team. So unfortunately, you can't do that, I'm afraid. Do you have an income sharing option? Unfortunately, we don't. So we have 2 finance options: are to pay up front or the 24-month interest-free finance. Question here, what would you say makes Command Shift different to other similar boot camps? So for me, and I think from what you two have said as well, I think the support, the team, and I think we're a really, it sounds really stupid, but like a really human team. I think we're real people. We're all people who have had similar experiences, lots of people in a similar situation to yourself. And I think our support, the part-time element, I think to me, those 2 biggest things. I don't know if you two have any opinions on what makes Command Shift different when you were looking at applications.
I think what you said covers it.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I agree. I think just from the website and everything, I think it's hard to explain, but like there was a good vibe about it. You know what I mean? I think some places are a bit, from my experience, I found them a little bit more clinical, a bit more kind of textbook, and obviously, there's some elements where it's like that, but the community, and it's like it's a very welcoming, warm kind of culture that you've built around it, I think is the best way to put it.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And I know it's me saying it, but no, I think we've got a really nice community. I think we've got a really nice culture. We've got really nice people that teach for us and then want to teach for us. I would say they're really the main things to me. There'll be lots of schools that have got sort of similar sort of things you'll be learning, but no, I would agree with that. I don't know if anyone has any more questions, if you'd like to ask those, or if you two have anything else that you'd like to say. No.
I think I've said all I had to say.
No, that's fine. Don't worry. No, that's all good. Okay. If we haven't got any more questions, I will end it there. But as always, you can always email me. Mine's email address is alice@commandshift.co. To remember that. So it's alice@commandshift.co. If you have any questions, feel free to pop anything over to me in an email. Applications close for our January cohort on the get this right. It will be on the 24th of January. If you are interested in using the winter sale, you will get a data guarantee once you put an form in as well. So if you are interested, just get the application form in as soon as possible. But if you do need anything else, I'm always here. But thank you, Cora and Mike, for joining me this evening. And thank you to everyone who has watched. It's been great. And hopefully you've got something valuable out of it. But I'll hopefully speak with you all soon. Thank you. Cheers.
Good luck. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.